What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office. I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Welcome back, Shreddies, to another episode of The Good Brothers. That's Mike. I'm Alex, and sadly, we have to start the show again like last week. Our beloved geek godfather, Jon Schnepp, had passed away. He leaves behind his parents, sister, and Holly Payne, and a couple pets, and just a legacy that spans the nerd community. You know, a lot of these actors that we see in these nerd roles have reached out. Kevin Smith, Henry Cavill, Aaron Paul, just to name a few, have reached out, and Luke Cage himself,
Michael Coulter, yeah.
They've sent their condolences, and I think everyone in our community has, just because he really did span through a lot. For me, I think mine was more the podcasting, just because I respected the whole, that movie looks dumb, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Like, you don't have to watch it, because if you think it looks dumb, it looks dumb. But he was always the first to be like, oh no, it was good, guys. Like, my bad.
Yeah.
Like, go watch it. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Like, The Greatest Showman, talked bad about it. So he's like, hey, it's pretty fun actually. Go see it. So, Mike, any words you want to say about the Godfather himself?
Yeah, it was a sad Comic-Con weekend when it came to that. We have a lot of stuff that we're gonna get into because it was a fun, Friday and Saturday when it came to some of the cool stuff that we got to see. And I like to think that he would have enjoyed it. It's just whenever you lose such a great mind, and especially in a field that you work in, and you knew that he was going to be working at so many more great things, that he had so many more things that he could have done, and that's it's always sad, even when you know them from afar. Yeah. Like, that's kind of it always just affects you. And then, you always see in social media just drama that it creates between people. And, at the end of it, it's a great mind and a great person we lost.
I mean, it's hard for Collider and all these people that are with them, like Campias and your Screen Junkies and, your horror people, just because everyone has to grieve.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you still have to do a show. Like, you're in the limelight. Like, so you still have to kind of like, well, what did happen at Comic-Con? Like, what did you think? And now it's like, this just happened. So, like,
and
it's hard to do a show about like stuff like that when like such serious stuff happens. But again, it's exactly what
he would have wanted.
So it's also really sad. I think what I think about more is that, like, now he doesn't get to know how Infinity War is, and that it upsets me, and that makes me think, like, it makes me depressed again.
Yeah,
because I'm like, man, I'm gonna watch the hell out of that movie now.
But like,
I'm gonna have to watch all these movies from Big Man.
But like, I also like to think that at least he got to see Infinity War,
like the greatest.
He got to see it.
Movie.
Like, he got there, and like, I don't know.
It happened so soon. Like
it's
Kevin,
so fast.
I think I looked at like Kevin Smith thing where I'm like, he'll be fine. Like, he'll snap out of it. He missed Comic-Con, make a few jokes.
Yeah,
he's good. And then it just happens. You're like, oh, like,
because that's just how fast it is. What do you? What was the first thing that came to your mind when you heard he passed? Because I texted you and I told you, like, hey, it had broke that, and apparently, like, it had been days in the making, obviously, because
so we find out later that, like, they had kind of. Everyone had gone to say their goodbyes.
And we kind of had
for the people closest to him, it didn't hit out of nowhere that morning. So I think when we kind of look back at Comic-Con, we're like, how they do it, they're like, well, they knew a few days beforehand. They knew that, like, hey, like, these are your come say goodbye.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it makes
think they
sense.
prepared more than I think the fans. When the fans kind of got it, it
'Cause
was
it
like,
was-
oh wow, like
yeah.
now I need to watch this YouTube video about this trailer. But I'm still a little shooken that we lost Mr. Schnepp, who as a podcaster is one of our favorites, has made one of the best documentaries in my opinion about anything, just
Yeah.
in general. Documentary like doesn't have to be about history or nerd stuff
For those of you who are
or
wondering,
violence. Like it's the death of Superman lives. And he just does so much, like the famous Nicolas Cage picture. He gets Tim Burton on it, Kevin Smith, just like all the writers, all producers, like everyone short of Nicolas Cage is in this movie.
and he worked with Adult Swim, with Metalopolis, and
Ghost Show, Coast to Coast, Space Ghost,
yeah, Space Ghost,
Coast to Coast.
And then we also had
Aqua Team Hunger,
Aqua
he
Team
was there
Hunger
with
Force.
that.
So, what was your favorite kind of Schnepp memory that you could kind of think off the top of your head that you go back to whenever you? What's like one of the first thoughts you think of when you think of Jon Schnepp?
Just his general attitude toward things, like where
Yeah.
like things either look good or bad, or like his sweatiness, just like how into like these things he got.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously Infinity War and like Black Panther, he got real excited about. I keep going back to The Greatest Showman just because how bad he talked it down, and then he was the first one to say no, it's actually a very enjoyable movie. Like, and he was good about that, good about being like, I'll disagree with you, but okay, it was good. Like, or no, it sucked. Like, I think it did suck. Or like, he would always try to find, even in like Justice League, he tried to find like, hey, it's good for what it is. Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the show.
I
It's
think
fun.
that's what he.
He really did try his best.
What I think we lose with that is there was a certain innocence
I was just gonna say innocence, a sincerity to it,
that comes from him, and
realness.
yeah, and you don't see it in a lot of people, especially in that type of community. So, it was hard watching all them kind of go through, because then you just put yourself in those situations. Like, man, I can only imagine if it was even closer to home, because this one felt close to home, and you're like, it just that's how you build these communities when it comes to radio, podcasting, TV. So, just a sad time when it came to that, but a lot of news came out of Comic-Con, so we're gonna hit that in just a little bit. But
we got
and we'll pour one out for the big man, and we'll enjoy the rest of these flicks while we have the chance to. So shout out to and safe travels to the other side, to the King of Schweddies, Jon
to the
Schnepp.
Rainbow Bridge, homie.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
All right, Alex. So Comic-Con 2018 came and went.
Aquaman was dope.
All right, so we have a lot of things we have to get into. We have a game I want to play.
Aquaman.
So, yeah. Let's go ahead. I have a list of all the trailers that came out. What we're going to do is we're going to rank them, and we're going to talk about them. So let's start off with, I'm going to name the list first. These are the ones that I've put on. Television shows and movies.
Because I have a follow-up question for you after.
And if you have anything that you think we missed throughout this conversation, please let us know in the comment section. Anywhere you're listening to this podcast, what was your favorite thing out of Comic-Con 2018? All right, here we go. We had Godzilla.
Awesome.
Aquaman.
Awesome.
Shazam.
Awesome.
The Walking Dead.
Awesome. Pretty good.
Glass.
Awesome.
Fantastic Beasts 2.
Apparently awesome. Didn't see it, but apparently great, they said.
Titans. Clone Wars. And Mayans.
Awesome.
So, why don't we go ahead?
We did miss a few things, people, but obviously we have different tastes.
Yeah. So, this is obviously a list of what my taste is. And what got me excited.
The Gifted guy. Gifted season 2. I don't think any of our listeners watch The Gifted, but I hear it's decent for Fox.
Sure.
The standards are a little lower
And
over there
who knows
lately.
what's going to happen with all those properties.
Yeah.
So,
got season 2.
So, why don't we start with Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
Millie Bobby Brown. A little heavy on Millie Bobby Brown, but I do like... there's a lot of monsters.
It's a lot of monsters early.
We got a lot of cool moments with like the turtle and like they weren't afraid to show you the monsters. I love that.
Yeah.
That they're like, listen, we have like 7 monsters. We'll show you a few.
You see Rodon, you see Ghidorah, and you see Mothra,
you see, like,
and Godzilla.
They still save a couple outlines and a bunch of King Kong reference we're gonna have to get. Like, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great. Like, I think this movie is gonna be next year's summer blockbuster movie. So what would this year's be? This year would be
Avengers.
No, like a non-Avengers, like summer.
I think this is the one that's coming out this week in Mission Impossible.
Probably. Let's see
I think
after
it's
this.
the
We'll talk about it next week, but it's gonna be next year's like That's the movie everyone's going to go see together. Jurassic World.
It's next year's Jurassic World. Yeah.
I don't know why that flew over my head, but you're wearing a Jurassic Park t-shirt.
Yeah, right. But yeah, just in general, it's the one complaint everybody apparently had about the first the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, that there wasn't enough of the monsters. You get a lot of them this way. Yeah. There's a beauty to it. There's like a weird, like, artistic.
The way they're shooting
it is very
nice.
cool.
But these are huge, monsters that you're gonna have to shoot. So you're really.
I have a feeling I already know what the movie is.
That's okay. I'm okay.
So,
with that.
but I think at the end of it, as long as it's exciting and it gets me pumped for Godzilla versus King Kong. Yeah. So that should be really good. Why don't we go to? I don't think it was the best trailer, because the one that we're gonna talk about afterwards, I think it's the best trailer. But arguably the best trailer in Aquaman.
I think it's the best trailer.
I think it's as great of a trailer as you can ever have. It's literally Avatar in the water.
Like, we gotta remember, that trailer came out with so much pressure.
All the pressure.
Justice League sucked. Yeah. Wonder Woman is still dope. What are you gonna do, James Wan? You're James Wan. And guess what, y'all? He hit the buzzer beater and got a foul. So he could not have done any better. Like, there is nothing more you could have done.
Nope.
Nothing more.
Everything was perfect.
And I think it showed.
Yeah.
That's why WB won. And I'm going to ask you that question in a second about WB winning, because obviously they have Godzilla. They're all their movies.
They won this year.
But
I actually have a reason why we're going to talk about that also.
I mean, you win when the number one is not there. Of course, the number two is going to win.
No HBO, no Marvel. We'll talk about it.
Clone Wars almost still beat them. Yeah. But I love the Aquaman trailer. I love the story we're getting. The visuals look so amazing. Like, I am so excited for this movie. Like, that's going to win. Like, I think that movie's proving, like, guys, either A, you're gonna make the most money. You'll win opening weekend. You're gonna beat Mary Poppins. I think you're gonna win that easily.
Yes.
I think this trailer does that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you move like a month before, you're gonna make some like Thor Ragnarok, like $170 million kind of thing.
That's a sleeper still though.
Like, if you can like just take it back, like you're gonna win the weekend. But like, dude, you can make one of the highest DC movies, like Suicide Squad money. Like, if you move that date, because that trailer has gotten people excited. James Wan's exciting. With Wonder Woman, you're like, man, like, can we get 2 good movies in a row? Like, that'd be kind of cool.
I think it'd be great.
Like, 3, like, that means, hey, 3 of the last 4 were good. Are we a thing again? Are we a thing? We're a thing.
No.
Oh, and then here comes
the one
I thought looked amazing too.
I think it's the best trailer of Comic-Con. Shazam.
Oh, so good.
Shazam looks amazing. Zachary Levi. Obviously, I went through all of the series of Chuck with Nicole, and he's Shazam.
I love how people say it's like big with Superman.
It's big with Superman.
And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, why is that a bad thing?
That's what
like,
Shazam
chocolate and peanut butter is great. It's called a Reese's. Like, yeah, that's a great thing. Like, why would you not? Like, sometimes the most predictable thing is the best thing to do.
And it gives itself, it gives the universe a different flavor, but in a natural way. This doesn't feel forced.
It feels very CW like almost. Where you're like, it fits. Like, I believe this happens.
Yeah,
like,
this finally
these conversations are things, and like,
same thing with Aquaman. It's like, and this is what Wonder Woman had. It's like, these are different.
Like, you do a good enough job. Be like, here's a small town, but here's a whole new world.
It
fits into your world, and I love it.
I think the real problem for Justice League is that Zack Snyder directed it from jump. Yeah. I think the uniqueness of the WB universe, that the DCEU, just like Marvel is, each of the movies, Wonder Woman has its own feel.
Yeah.
Shazam looks like it has its own feel.
You
so
watch
does Aquaman.
Scenes of Wonder Woman and Justice League, you're like, it's different.
It's totally different.
And it's good. I'll give them credit. Like, I think they both do. Amazon's great. Like, one's A, one's a lesser A. Sure. You know? Because I did think that. But I'm like, it's very different. The way they shoot them, the way they dress them, very different. I think they're still the best parts of the movies. Yeah. Like, Justice League, that's still one of the better parts when we see the flashback with, like, all the characters. Sadly, that's, like, the first 45 minutes. But I still think that's what's funny. Is like, these characters are so good that that's still one of the best parts in both movies. But obviously, Patty Jenkins did it so much better. There was more depth to it. But I love the action Snyder did do with those people. And you got to think, he did help Patty Jenkins with action.
Sure.
So a lot of those parts are the same. Just the way they dress it was different.
But I believe that they're going down the right direction of just giving every movie its own feel, and then eventually we might get another.
I mean, we got to think what comes after. So we have Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and I think all 3 could be hits. Like, hits.
I actually think so too.
And then you're looking at yourself, you're like, okay, if all of our movies, the only one that really didn't do anything we needed it to do was Justice League.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, and then Suicide 2 is coming out, and then you have all these other movies. So you're like, realistically, Justice League was our only failure. Suicide Squad 2 made butt fucks, Harley Quinn is the new idol on Halloween. So is Jared Leto's Joker, regardless of what I say. They're good. BVS made some money. They're good too.
Justice League didn't make the money.
Justice League, that's the only one. You're like, no, that's a failure. That failed. But if we're shooting like 6 for 7, y'all, that's not too. Like, we're a thing again. Now we're like, okay, Suicide Squad 2 comes out. Birds of Prey.
Sure.
But now we need to see who's directing. Is the studio doing it? I think we're good.
I
think
let's
enjoy 3 movies.
Sure. That's the big thing. Where's
let's
this Flash
enjoy these
movie?
3.
Well, and why does
I
this
don't want
feel
a Flash movie. I'm sick of Flash on TV already.
Why does this almost feel like the Flash, what the Flash should feel like? That they got low key from Shazam.
I think it's because the TV universe, like, as much as we didn't want to say, oversaturated it.
And I think
we're at this point where, like, I like Grant Gusman. Obviously, he's not a movie actor. I don't think I could see him being maybe one day, but not right now as that character.
Yeah.
I don't buy him in the DC universe or the movie.
Yeah.
I think,
but the Flash is great on television. It's great.
I think that's what it comes down to. Is like, we're over. Like you should have done a Flash movie 4 years ago.
Like, they hooked,
or no, not 3 years ago. Do a Flash movie, it sells big. The Flash phrase, like, people still like, it's like Supernatural. People still watch it. They're still their diehards. But that super pulp culture thing, that was season 1 and 2. And I think by season 5, we're all kind of like, okay, if you're watching, you're watching. It's still good, but it's season 5.
I'm super hooked on the trailer they showed us for the next season.
I haven't seen the new season.
It looks good.
I'll watch it. It's on Netflix. So that's going to make it a lot more doable when it's Netflix straight up, like 40 minutes, all in a row. I don't have to wait a week for nonsense if it's nonsense. I can fast forward.
And they go through their
Who's Baby and Future.
And when they go through their holiday breaks all the time.
I'm going to do Legends first, honestly.
Yeah, Legends was great too. Yeah. We also got The Walking Dead, Rick's Last Stand.
No. Fuck this, because here's the problem, dude. I love the trailer.
So do I.
But as soon as I watch it again, I'm like, dude, I can already see the filler episodes
all
now.
Over.
I can see so many fillers. I'm like, that's an episode.
Yep.
That's an episode. Yep. That entire sequence is an episode. That's 10 minutes.
Alex, they learned nothing.
No, they didn't.
They learned nothing.
All they learned is, like, we're losing actors, people.
Yeah, that's all that was.
You want to talk about the kind of the breaking news today, since we're talking about Walking Dead?
Sure, go ahead.
Chris Hardwick is completely reinstated.
No, let me ask you this. Let's go.
There's another one we got to go into.
Since it broke during Comic-Con. So, James Gunn is taken off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for tweets that were brought up. Now, obviously, people are like, Dave Bautista's gone through this rant of what was a neo-Nazi that brought him up and so on and so forth.
Well, no, like, obviously the difference between Hardwick and Hardwick was just found out, and there was a lot of he said, she said they found out.
Yeah.
In this one, it was like, yeah, these are old tweets, and he apologized for them. But the manner of people that went after him was a very political thing where it's like, yeah, guys, we're not defending it. We're saying, like, it's kind of scary that, like, people went to this much trouble to try to blackmail this guy. And again, you got to, the internet stays forever, people. You got to watch what you say.
And that's exactly, you have to take responsibility for it. Because if you're a sports fan, you have Josh Hader, who's the relief pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. And during the All-Star break, they go through his Twitter account from years ago when he was like 19. Yeah. And they find racist and homophobic tweets. And he gets in trouble. And here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. If you're a right-winger, you can't sit there and say, that liberal said this, and this, they need to be taken down. And then when it happens to your guy, you can't get upset. And vice versa. Listen, I love James Gunn. He's a fighter. He's, for a lot of people, for different groups, he's considered an ally. I think he's just a great mind that gives a use to his platform, but can't have it both ways.
Well, here's my problem, though, and here's where I get, like, I don't know what you're specifically talking about, so I'm not going to argue that. I'm going to argue the Roseanne argument. The reason it's different is this. James Gunn showed remorse. His was years before. There was years for him that we can believe he changed as a person.
Fair.
And for the people closest to him of all different races and genders, Batista's always on Chris Pratt. It's like a trio of completely different people in the industry.
Absolutely.
Defending him, I can buy more that he's more sorry than Roseanne never apologized.
No, you're totally right. Yeah,
Roseanne went into like, well, I was messed up. That's why I said it. She's like, she Hulk Hogan it, honestly, where it was like, I'm sorry you're upset.
It's a great point.
So I don't like that argument. I know that wasn't your thing, but I've seen that argument, and I'm like, it's not the same thing. And it's also, Roseanne went out and just did it, and we found it.
Yeah.
And then we found the racist cookies. Like, there was multiple things.
Right.
This was found. This is very dangerous. Because we've had, look at some of these films, one of our favorite films have pedophiles in them.
Oh, absolutely.
Have rapists in them.
Yes.
Like, where's the line drawn? Like, and this also is scary. It's like,
Watch
who's
sports.
next?
Yeah.
Who's next? Like, I know there's like, maybe not you and me, because we're not famous. There's probably a lot of stuff out there that people go back, you're like, that's kind of, like, it was a joke, but it's a tasteless. Absolutely. Anything's tasteless from 10 years ago. Gay people couldn't get married 10 years ago, people.
No, you're
I'm
right.
sure there's a lot of tasteless stuff from that,
And my point to all of this isn't even specifically to James Gunn. It's specific to, you reap what you sow. We live in a society right now where we've decided that it's okay to go back to your past and destroy your present and what would be your future.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Like, we're gonna judge you off what you did. It doesn't matter who you are now.
And the line has been drawn. Does, and just like Chris Hardwick, does James Gunn get reinstated?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
I think so.
We'll find out. There's a lot more shareholders for Disney than there are for AMC.
I think that's interesting to find out what happens, because if he does, then you're like, okay, there's power.
Would he want to go back?
There's power in the people. I think so.
Interesting.
There's power in the people. Because even he was like, listen, I get it. He told Disney, he's like, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, he had never once said, I'm mad at Disney. These people are coming to his aid. He's not out there begging and saying, I need my job. He said it. Like, flat out, he's like, you know what? I messed up. And I have to live with it. And I get it. I get why you made your decision.
James Gunn is a stand-up dude.
That's from what I've seen.
Yeah, I like
again,
James
when
Gunn.
you get too political at his stage, you know, people are going to come after you, man.
People come after you, and it's the truth. And one day we'll look back in this and we'll find out. People will have to.
It works all over, man. We have so many things that we look the other way. Like, we're kind of learning where the line is, and we're learning there is no line.
Yeah.
It's kind of who's the person? And that's not okay. We're getting to the point of, like, well, how famous are they? Or what year was it? Like, it was okay for this dude to bang a 17-year-old girl in 1990-something and direct movies? Like, come on.
It sucks, but yeah. So at least that's kind. We just wanted to make sure we tackled that because that hit so many different fronts. But Alex, some other stuff dropped at Comic-Con. We'll continue with this. Glass. That looked really good.
That looked really good.
That actually looked really good trailer. Strong cast.
There's not much more to say about it. That movie's just gonna be sick. Like, very realistic superhero.
It looks like people are behind it, and it looks like the concept's behind it that maybe they're all crazy. Or like, are they all superheroes?
I think we've gone past it after watching Split. Yeah. That we're like, oh no, like the twist was we're not all crazy. No, they're really crazy. Maybe it goes reverse, and they're like, no guys, you're all just crazy.
Yeah, I would love it.
Because remember, it's still have the great thing about this is, like, I watched this trailer not looking for a twist.
Yeah.
And that's great filmmaking from him, especially someone that you're like, where's the twist? I watched this whole thing and be like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a twist, but I don't sense one because it looks just like a good superhero movie.
We know there will be a twist.
And you know there's going to be a good one.
I don't
but that's what makes Split kind of good, is like toward the end, you're like, oh, he's not getting a split. And then you're like, oh, that's not really a split. That's really just...
Oh, it might be maybe signs. Maybe the aliens are what started all this.
Yeah, something like that.
But like, it doesn't matter as long as the movie's good. Like, I just want to kind of see how this all goes.
Like, The Visit was a very big, like, the reveal was for the movie.
Yeah, right.
Not really for Split. Not really for Unbreakable. The movie's still good. You're just like, oh, he is a superhero. Oh, he is a monster. There's no real, like, twist. Like, Sixth Sense, there's a twist. Signs, there's a twist. Like, there wasn't a twist in this. Like, The Visit had a twist where you're like, that's the movie. If there's no twist, it's still a good movie.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for
like,
this
Split
movie.
is still good if I don't see, Bruce Willis at the end.
But that ending...
Oh, no, it makes it a great movie.
It's
still a good movie, though. It's still one of his better-known movies. It would still get a sequel.
Yeah.
But that makes it legendary when you're like, oh, snap. And you see Bruce Willis must be taking this serious of him being on, whoring himself out on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
You know this is his next big movie, especially after that one flopped.
Yes.
The remake of Death Wish.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I need this movie because, like, this could be my swan song, guys. Like, this could be my...
I think
like Creed 2.
I think it's going to be big for him. Fantastic Beasts 2.
I heard so much crazy hype about this.
It's
so good that people aren't pissed about Johnny Depp anymore. That's crazy to me.
I didn't like the first Fantastic Beasts necessarily. I'm super hyped for this movie.
Yo, I heard it's not a funny joke, but I heard a funny comment. They're like, that must have been awkward for Warner Brothers having to keep Amber Heard and Johnny Depp away.
Sure.
Because obviously, Warner Brothers, Harry Potter... Aquaman, like
that's very interesting.
Must have been a couple people backstage.
She looked good though in for Aquaman. She's gonna be awesome.
They all look great. That movie looks so good. Black Man.
Oh, okay, so we might talk about the CW a little bit. All the trailers dropped. They all look pretty interesting.
Same thing we always got,
but
consistency. At least.
This Titans trailer. First of all the assholes who were complaining that Starfire is black, kiss my ass. Second of all,
real big stand there. No, yeah, she's orange people. Like, she's just.
I
don't really care. I mean, I'm more upset that her hair looks stupid. I don't like curly hair. I think that's what got me more upset.
How about the whole thing looks really fucking stupid?
I don't know, dude. It could be really good.
Fuck Batman.
It could be good, dude.
Oh, it could totally be good.
It could be good.
But it doesn't look
It could
good.
be terrible.
Doesn't look
it
good.
don't look good. Trailer's not good.
You know what? It looks worse than it did if it would have been on TNT.
God, this is like, is this going to be DC's Inhumans?
Maybe.
That's what it looks like.
But did you remember that show
I
Falling
think the costumes look good, though, besides Starfire.
Sure. But like, remember the show Falling Sky, where it's like you knew it tried really
Oh
hard.
my God, dude. You used to love
I love that
show.
show, but it was such a TNT show.
How did it end?
I forgot.
Did they survive?
No, they don't. They didn't get another season. And like,
Oh, so we don't
yeah,
find out?
Yeah.
Dude, you got me into it for like a year, and then I just did not care.
I actually really enjoyed that show. But here's the thing: there's a certain production value that you see on TNT.
Yeah.
This looks very TNT-ish. And even worse, because it looked like a show that TNT rejected. Because guess what?
But, like,
it was a show
I
TNT
didn't
rejected.
think so I think there were parts that looked good. And no, that's rumor and innuendo, because Real Raw said they wanted to go harder. I mean, we got to give some credit. It is really tight to the chest of Jeff Johns. So that's one thing. Like, so like, it's a big name. I'm hoping it's like when we saw the trailer for Kick-Ass, we're like, this looks stupid, and we're like, oh no, I like it. Like, this is kind of good. Like, maybe the trailer was just cut super badly, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
I hope not. Cobra Kai looks stupid when it came on. It was one of the best YouTube shows
fair.
ever. So
No, that's fair.
who knows? Who knows, people? But it does look terrible. We're not gonna pretend here and be like, there's some subtlety there. I think some of the costumes look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Some scenes look okay.
But
Like 70% of it looked terrible.
Yeah.
So 30's not that great for a show that needed this much hype.
And honestly, like, fuck Batman doesn't bother me. It's just like it's
Nah,
so.
nah,
it's just,
I dig it.
It's just so dumb to put in the
dig
trailer.
it.
It's like I get why you put it in the trailer,
I dig
but
it.
like whatever.
No, I'm okay with that. That doesn't. There's so much more. And again, with Starfire, I just want her with straight hair.
Yeah, that would.
I don't like curly hair. I think it looks stupid on her.
We also have Clone Wars is back.
Oh, you know I was pumped about that. Mofo.
Very interesting.
That's like one of my favorite animated shows ever.
And it almost makes sense why the Solo thing happens, because they're like, we need something.
We
to
need some
kinda-
more story.
Yeah, and
Because now you know you're gonna get Solo in somewhere in this
so
thing. You
there
have
it is.
to.
And then the final one on my list, Mayans.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. It
Mayans
so
looks great.
good.
And you know what?
And you know Kurt Soder's a crazy mofo, so I can't wait.
And a lot of people have hype for this one. This one's the general public has hype for because they love Sons of Anarchy. All right,
They
now,
were smart with the advertisement of Jax right there. You're like, no, we're like, hey, this is, and the rumors were it was a prequel. You and me both thought it was
Yeah, I thought it was a prequel.
And then we find out, oh no, like it's just, hey, this is
It's concurrent.
We're gonna like, would you have liked to see Jax growing up in the club? Well, here's this guy. He's part of the Mayans. Everything Jax went through is there. That's all relevant. So we can have the Sun show up.
Yeah.
We can have Chibs.
Yeah, that'd be
Chibs
great.
president. I would love to see Chibs.
Would you?
Like, I boy.
Do we see Sam Crow in
You have
Mayans?
You have to at some point drop at least a few of them, man. You
so
have
great.
to. I don't think we're going
So
to war
great.
with them.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be.
I don't think
something
we
like,
can go to war
No,
with
I
them.
think it's they're allies.
Yeah,
they
they've
gave
always
up
been-
their part of that part. So
Yeah,
like,
I know.
they're in different areas now.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about each other. They're
So-
in Stockton.
So, any last trailer you want to talk about that struck you at Comic-Con 2018?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I have a game for us, Alex.
Game.
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these trailers and we're gonna rank them, and we're gonna change it from now. We're gonna have an official ranking list of trailers that we watched for movies that are gonna come out. Once the movie comes out, we're gonna take it off the list. But once it's on this list, that's where we put it, and it's permanently on that. So this is our hype rank
Between
list.
what? Between which trailers? These are the ones we
These
talked
are the
about
trailers
today?
that are on it officially. This is the start of it.
Okay.
So maybe next week we can add on a trailer that's old or new, but this is the start of it.
Christopher Robin.
All right, no, but that'll be next week. So next week you're gonna have to decide which of these movies gets pushed up or pushed down.
Okay.
So this is inspired by the Easy Allies. Check them out at Easy Allies. They do something similar to this, but this is going to be a movie version, and we're going to really put Alex to the test on it. So,
Aquaman.
number 1, Aquaman. Alex, what's number 2? Godzilla or Shazam?
Shazam.
Alex, is 3 Godzilla?
I mean, there's not any other options really.
Could Glass, The Walking Dead?
Oh no, Glass
Glass
would be number 3.
Glass is 3.
But Glass 2. Shazam would be 3. Glass would be 2. I forgot about Glass.
Okay.
Glass would be 2.
What would you put at 4? Godzilla?
Godzilla.
What would you put at 5? The Walking Dead,
Question mark? Oh man.
Fantastic Beasts,
No.
Titans, Clone Wars, Mayans.
Mayans.
at 5.
Clone Wars really didn't have anything too big. Just announced they're coming.
Clone
back.
Wars at 6.
Yeah, Clone Wars. That's it.
Okay.
And then that's the only ones for me because I don't really like Fantastic Beasts anyway. So.
Oh, no, continue on with the list. So what would you put at 7? The Walking Dead, Fantastic Beasts, or
Walking Dead,
Titans?
then, yeah.
At 8, would you put Titans or Fantastic Beasts?
Titans.
And finally, at number 9, you would have Fantastic Beasts. So Alex's list of rank the trailers that we have had. At 1 comes Aquaman. Glass, number 2. At 3, Shazam. At 4, Godzilla. At 5, Mayans. At 6, Clone Wars. At 7, The Walking Dead. At 8, Titans. And 9, Fantastic Beasts. I totally disagree with this list, but this is Alex's list. So if you agree or disagree on this list, let us know on Twitter at Mercado233 or Mercado21Alex.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Any last thoughts? No HBO, no Marvel, but we find out that there is no more Game of Thrones spinoffs other than the prequel that they're making, and that we're gonna get 6 episodes by spring of 2019.
Yeah, and then we also found out today, just a little more recent, that Deadwood's getting their movie from HBO. They're going production later this year. Mm-hmm. Westworld won't be coming out for another year and a half, probably. A couple documentaries. No, that's about it for HBO.
Very low key. Warner Brothers heavy dominated.
Now, do you think Warner Brothers win if Marvel comes in with Captain Marvel and maybe a little Infinity War?
Probably, but
we wouldn't see it, so I don't think it would matter. I don't think they really didn't have anything they could win with. They went movie heavy though. That was the point.
Warner Brothers dominated, and that's because there was no competition. They did
and
what
I
they
don't think Disney had enough where they were like, well, listen, we already made all this money. Like, yeah, we don't really have anything for you guys. We're not going to show you Infinity War yet, and anything you see from Captain Marvel probably won't trump these 5 movies. So
and I'm not
we're
mad
good.
about it.
Star Wars, we're okay.
To me, Shazam and Aquaman were the best of trailers they could have possibly been.
We're still gonna make bank off. We still got Mary Poppins and Wreck-It Ralph to advertise, so I think we're okay, people.
So yeah, that'll do it though for San Diego Comic-Con 2018. Alex, in WWE, really fast, we get all women's pay-per-view, WWE Evolution in October. Any thoughts about that? Like, very interesting. I think Stephanie did say on a business call, I believe, that they will not be doing a women's tag team title just yet.
Enough roster, I believe,
something like that. So, what do you think? What do you think about this all women's? I hope it's the only pay per view that month, and I'm pretty excited for it. That's pretty cool.
I don't think it'll be only pay per view.
I totally agree. There will be another pay per view, but
yeah, I think it's pointless. I think I would have been better off with more tag belts or more TV time, because I think a title means more TV time. That's the problem. Give a title because that means more time. That means another spot on the show. Maybe. At least even it's pre-show. Because right now, cool. Dude, Saudi Arabia sucked. Every live event you've done there kind of sucks. It's not NXT. So why? Are you really excited about a women's thing? There's one title. What are we fighting for?
There's 2 titles.
There's 2 titles. So there's 2 titles. Did we get bored when there's 10 titles on a show? Well, it's not a women thing. It's just it's another pay-per-view.
I think it's just
with not a lot to fight for. So how many fatal 4-way matches are we getting? How many 4-on-4 matches?
That's theoretic. You're thinking as if it's a regular pay-per-view, but the idea is you're gonna get one match where it's 20 minutes and another. It's gonna be like NXT except a little bit more.
I think it's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be just like a Saudi Arabia.
I think you're thinking it's gonna be like a 4-hour show. I think it's only gonna be a 2-hour show.
Hope.
It's gonna be a 2-hour show, 5 matches.
Cause even look at this. I love the Mae Young Classic, but it wasn't the Cruiserweight Classic. it was just set up differently. I just don't think.
Well, they're gonna have.
I think we need a women's title because that's more something to fight for these women.
Well, we do have an idea is that the Mae Young Classic finals theoretically is going to take place that night, and then 2 championship matches. Yeah. So that's three things.
And like, how big are these championship matches? Is it gonna be like Saudi where we have the titles up? Or
you keep going back to Saudi, but why can't
because
it?
It's on, I mean,
why can't it be? What was a good pay per view? Why can't it be Extreme Rules? Why can't it be just another pay per view where it's going to be big?
Stipulations in that there was something to go for.
What makes you think that this isn't just going to be? This is
what are they like I said? Besides 2 titles and maybe 2 number 1 contenders,
you're going to have Alexa Bliss versus. Let's just make a theoretical card really fast. It would be Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey, Charlotte versus Becky.
I think that's why I get another problem is like the problem with I have a problem with Lesnar sometimes because like we know he's going to be champion. He has to. That's like Rousey. Like when she wins it, she's going to hold it for a while. She's going to carry that bad boy. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, take that out of the equation already. So Ronda goes over. Okay. That's kind of, okay, so now we're down to 1 title and if that one's on Charlotte, then you're like, fuck, dude. Like we just Brock Lesnar us twice.
It's a little different with Rousey though because she's more Kurt Angle than she is Brock.
Here's my biggest problem, I think, and I think this is where it comes down to. There's not enough women main event talent anymore. And they did it to themselves. Because you kind of buried a lot of your main event caliber women. Because now the only main event women I see is Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Ronda.
Yeah.
Nia Jax-ish, maybe?
Sure.
Kind of. Bayley and Sasha, do I really want to see the main event anymore? Becky is kind of getting up there. Carmella's your champion, and I didn't even mention her. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not their fault, but you didn't push a lot of these people. And we have enough trouble with men, and they push at least like 7. And now we're pushing 3 with nothing to fight for. Like, it's hard. It's going to be hard.
I think it's going to be a 5-match night, and I think you're going to see a showcase of each. I think it's going to be like an NXT takeover.
I think you're right. I still think titles would have been great.
Sure, I totally agree.
Even if it's like an Intercontinental or something like a worker title, like I don't care.
I think it should have been tag titles.
I think so too because it kills a lot of roster space.
So that would have been my guess.
Bumped up like 6 girls in one.
But it's a start. It's somewhere. It's in the right direction.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, like your best option, make it 2 hours. Throw me a battle royal in there with some NXT girls, 2 championship matches. Throw me a number 1 contenders match somewhere in there, and then you're good. And then a tag team or something like a fatal thing. You should be okay. You'd be use all of them 2 hours. Though. You're right. If it's anything more than 2 hours, then you don't got the roster for it, y'all. Like you're gonna have to, like NXT kind of does to help out. Now let's say are we gonna get a Shayna Baszler match too? Now that's 3 titles.
That was the other place that
they brought up a lot of girls for that thing. So I'm thinking now we're getting interested. Now I'm getting like a lot of female wrestling, but still I only want 2 hours. You don't got the roster for any.
I think it's going to work out okay.
I hope so. Your 2 hours may be a little more calm if it is 2 hours. Well, but if it's more than 2 hours, I don't have a lot of faith in it.
And now I
don't have faith in the men's pay per view. When they're together, like I don't want like Saudi Arabia sucks when it's just men. I'm not going to be biased and say having just women make it any better. Like if it's a 3-hour show, that's a long show.
No, I totally agree. Thing. There's no way.
Now 2 hours, let's get it.
I think it's going to be 2 hours. I think it's going to be 2 hours, max 6 matches.
Kill it, dude.
So
that'll work.
We'll keep our eye on it. It's going to be very interesting. Last thing we're going to do, Alex, is I have a fun game I want to get to you really fast too. We're gonna go through your cerebralness that you keep talking about. This notion that you're some self-proclaimed genius.
Oracle,
To this weekend, Mission Impossible, Teen Titans Go. Which one makes more money? Which one has a higher Rotten Tomato score?
Mission Impossible for both, but it's gonna be a lot closer than we think.
I think it's gonna be really
Teen Titans
close.
some crazy hype.
I think it looks good.
Show, this FU to everyone. They're like, listen, I get, we're not the old Teen Titans, but we're something, y'all.
We're crushing.
We're kind of low-key killing it.
This is what
I think obviously Mission Impossible just by a little bit in all categories, but I think this is gonna do a lot more damage to it than I ever had thought.
Yeah.
Like Teen Titans, we got this, and now they're like, oh god damn, kids watch Teen Titans, man.
This is honestly one of those like the people at Paramount. I think are the ones who are doing Mission Impossible. They're like, oh shit, like. It's that popular. And you want to know what I think it is, too? Because the Adventure Time never, Gumball, these shows never made their own movies. So this is that audience that's finally getting that crowd into it. Both the adults that watch it and the children, obviously. But I think, obviously, Mission Impossible, which looks amazing.
But I think it's going to do a lot more damage.
They're both going to make money. Yeah, they're both going to be good.
Pretty pennies.
Pretty good stuff. Good, brother. I think that does it for us here on this episode of The Good Brothers. Some sad news to start the show off, but, it's always exciting when San Diego Comic-Con.
Right?
Yeah, and hopefully we get to keep doing this. We appreciate it every single time we get to do these shows. Thank you to each and every one of you who joins us here on the network for all the shows we do. Good brother, any last words?
Last words.
Attaboy. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. For the Good Brother himself, he's Alex Mercado. I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you on the next episode of the Good Brothers here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.